All right, let's shift gears now and let's talk a little Caleb Williams specifically. And I want to know what everybody thinks in the chat on this. This was really it's mind-boggling. I knew what was coming. I put a tweet out, and that tweet, what I said in the tweet was basically all you will see all over ESPN tomorrow will be that fourth down throw from Caleb Williams. They won't talk about how he cost the game. Though they may mention it briefly, they're going to tuck it to the side, and it's just going to be they've got to continue to hype up these large market teams like Chicago. You got to continue to build that hope. That's why it's so frustrating throughout the season. You feel like Chicago got all the calls. They were lucky, right? Now, everything kind of went their way, and it's not, I'm telling you, it's not a coincidence that the Packers got called for so many penalties, yet the Bears didn't get called for, what was it, 5 yards in penalty yards. And people go, how did you give up 25 points in the fourth quarter to the Chicago Bears? Well, it's a bunch of things combined, right? Edgerrin Cooper leaves the game. You're already down Micah. You're down Devontae. You got an undrafted free agent on one side at cornerback. You got a 7th-round pick on the other, right? Your most important position, you got a 4th-rounder and a 6th-rounder starting a defensive tackle. All these things, you had a 5th-rounder playing the majority of the snaps at edge. All those things come into play, and then when they get every single call, you got Austin Booker, I think it's his name, Booker, a pass rusher for the Bears. The second game in a row against the Packers, he led with the crown of the helmet on Jordan Love, no penalty flag thrown, but yet he was fined after the game, which is the league acknowledging that was illegal. Well, why didn't they throw the flag? How did they miss that one? Very, very convenient, right? So this is what they won't tell you, what ESPN won't tell you about Caleb Williams. These were his numbers yesterday. Again, shout out the Hog NFL. Caleb Iceman Williams was feeling dangerous versus the Rams. He was 23 of 42, 257 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. He had a handful of sick throws, and boy, Chris Collinsworth, we were wondering, everybody was worried when Pat Mahomes finally decides to call it a career. Man, what's Chris Collinsworth going to do? He's going to be depressed. Nope, it's going to be Caleb Williams. If you listen to the commentary in that game, you would have thought Caleb Williams had 75% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, no pick. You would have thought he played like Jordan Love in the playoff game against the Bears. He was telling a story and painting a picture with his excitement as if Caleb Williams dominated this game, right? 17 points. His passer rating was 59.3. I repeat, passer rating 59.3. Caleb Williams had a bad passer rating and was significantly low. I want to say he was around 33rd or something. We'll talk about it in a minute specifically with the passer rating amongst all NFL quarterbacks this season. And this was even lower than that passer rating. Absolutely wild that people are looking at this like, yeah, Caleb's that dude. When is it going to become important to play with efficiency? When is it going to become important to be able to read a defense and get to the third read in a play? When's it going to become important to not make those stupid throws into coverage? Because, again, he may thread the needle on 1 or 2 of them, but I'm telling you, a large majority of those are going to go against the Bears and Caleb Williams. And I'm all for it. Here's the thing I'm worried about as a Packer fan. I'm going to be completely transparent right now. What I'm most worried about with what Ben Johnson did to this team this year and kind of turned them around, I'm terrified that they're going to actually realize and acknowledge, okay, Caleb's not the guy. If we had someone who was just, top 15 in adjusted completion percentage, or hell, top 20, if he was starting caliber in adjusted completion percentage, we would have been way more efficient as an offense, and our team is dangerous. Button up the defense and get a quarterback that can play within the scheme and play efficiently, the Bears will be one of the better teams in the league. I pray to sweet baby Jesus they don't realize that. I hope they give him the biggest extension, and I think Ryan Poles will, because, again, we're going into year 3 now, and everything we've seen on the college tape, nothing got better with Caleb on the things we were worried about. Don't get me wrong. His legs are still elite. He can make plays on the run. He makes those flashy plays. You're going to get that excitement, right? The one thing he did take a huge step, in my opinion, on this year was he matured a little bit. Like when you hear him at the postgame press conference and stuff, he's not as emotional, in my opinion. He's starting to get that under control. But Ben Johnson is kind of dragging the whole team down that with all the antics he had and showing his ass all season long, putting a target on their back, running their mouth, all that stuff. To me, that's something that's going to end up hurting them, because the majority of the season, you've seen them win 12 games. You've seen the Ben Johnson when they're winning. You guys go back and watch the first 4 weeks of the season when they were playing like cheeks. He was unraveling. He was trying to bully a female reporter on the sideline, getting in her face, getting smart with her and everything. You see him lean in and she's kind of leaning away. Go back and watch it. Go back and watch the tape. All of that press conference, getting snippy with the media members. It's one thing that I can say about Caleb Williams that's positive. He knows how to handle winning. When he wins, he seems kind of humble and even keel, right? Ben Johnson, he doesn't know how to win and he doesn't know how to lose. And I'm telling you, mark my words, that's going to bite them in the rear end eventually. Joe Thuney's going to be a year older. Eventually, that offensive line is not going to be absolutely dominant. Caleb Williams will probably demand $60 to $70 million per year. I think Poles does not want to be the, oh, crap, I missed on that. And these other quarterbacks like Drake May were absolute successes. And I think that's going to be something that's going to lead them to overpay for Caleb. I hope they do. Now, can he fix these problems? Absolutely. Will he? Only time will tell. But that's the thing that worries me about the Bears in the North moving forward. So with the playoff lights on this playoff season, how did Caleb Williams play? His completion percentage, 52%, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I repeat, playoff statistics for Caleb Williams this year. Okay, when the lights came on, 52% completion percentage, 4 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. And, oh, by the way, he had the game-losing interception in overtime. All right, next on the list. Quarterbacks EPA per play. These were the quarterbacks that made the playoffs this year, okay? And shout out to Wendell Ferreira for throwing this out over on X. Give him a follow at Wendell FP. Playoff quarterbacks by adjusted EPA per play. So this is, if I'm understanding the stat correctly, and I kind of looked it up, and I think this is how it falls, okay? EPA per play of just the quarterbacks who made the playoffs. Jordan Love, number 1, all right? Sam Darnold, 2. Josh Allen, 3, Caleb Williams, 4. So when you look at EPA per dropback, he's improving there, and that's an important statistic. What I typically look at is EPA per dropback, adjusted completion percentage, because EPA per dropback is kind of telling you the overall picture. How well are they playing the quarterback position? Caleb's playing it. You look at that and you go, okay, he must be playing it pretty well, right? Well, that's because it's including some of the scramblings. I mean, when you look at everything, that's EPA per play, not EPA per dropback, if I understand correctly. He's 4th. But when you throw in the adjusted completion percentage, you throw in the passer rating, you look at these interceptions in the most crucial times, not so worried. Nix was 5, Stafford 6, May 7, Young 8, Stroud 9, and Trevor Lawrence is 10th. So, again, Jordan Love leading playoff quarterbacks by adjusted EPA per play. Now, Matthew Golden versus Rome Odunze in the playoffs. You know how the Bears fans were talking about how, Matthew Golden, he's absolute trash. He sucks. He's garbage. Well, when the lights came on in the playoffs this year, Rome Odunze, they're godsend at wide receiver, right? 4 catches, 88 yards, 0 touchdowns in 2 games. I repeat, Rome Odunze played in 2 playoff games. He had 4 catches for 88 yards and no touchdowns. Matthew Golden played in 1 playoff game. 4 catches, 84 yards, and a touchdown. And he says, this is Ben Houselog on X said, am I doing this right? Because these are the type of numbers, the type of stats that Bears fans threw out all year long. They're going to hate to acknowledge this one right here, I promise you. Now, quarterbacks, regular season plus the playoffs. Let's talk about where Caleb ranks, okay? EPA per dropback for the entire season, including the playoffs. And that's, I checked this morning. If the numbers have been completely updated for the playoffs, I think they have, not 100% sure. Nonetheless, if it doesn't include the playoffs or it doesn't include last night's playoff game, you guys get the gist. It's pretty close. As a matter of fact, that would mean Caleb Williams would be even lower on these lists. So EPA per dropback, Drake May, number 1. Jordan Love is tied at first place with Drake May, both with a positive .21. Caleb Williams, 12th. Not horrible. He's about to break into the top 10 in EPA per dropback, right? You go, okay, that's pretty good numbers there. He finished the season with 31 touchdowns, 12 interceptions. Jordan Love finished with 27 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions. Jordan Love threw half as many interceptions as Caleb Williams did this year, okay? Next, passer rating. Jordan Love is 6th in the league in passer rating at 101.4. Where is Caleb Williams? 25th. At 86.8. is where his passer rating falls. So again, Jordan Love passer rating, 6th best in the league. Caleb Williams, 25th best. He's not even a top 20 quarterback when it comes to passer rating. Let's talk about completion percentage, okay? Completion percentage, Caleb Williams, 57.3%. That's 33rd best in the league. Guys, he is not even in the top 32 in completion percentage. 57.3%. Could you imagine if the Bears, with a 12-win season, had somebody that finished just in the 63 or 64% range? Think of how many third downs they would have converted on those passes. Think of how many times they left yards on the field, points on the field, because Caleb Williams couldn't hit a bull in the ass with a mop. Like, his accuracy, you seen it last night. It's just, as soon as they started to get something going, he would airmail a ball. He would throw a worm burner, or he would throw it 5 yards over the receiver on an out route. Again, the inconsistencies of the accuracy. And you go, okay, what causes that? Most of the time, it's not a strong platform. It's bad passing mechanics, right? Everything comes back to the basics. Well, Caleb is very throw-off platform, right? It's going to be so hard to hone him in on the mechanics of throwing the ball. So again, 57.3%, 33rd best in the league. Now, Bears fans, when you bring that stat up, they almost always say, well, that's because the receivers are dropping passes. That's because of this. That's because that has nothing to do with Caleb. It's the biggest, fluffiest BS excuse there is. Let's go to adjusted completion percentage. This removes the noise. This removes the throwaways, the spots, the receivers dropping passes, all of those things, right? This is strictly how accurate is the quarterback. Adjusted completion percentage, Jordan Love is not best in the league at 76.8. And I'm telling you, he is this close to being 8th best. So again, top 10 adjusted completion percentage for Jordan Love with an 88.8 PFF offensive grade. Where is Caleb? We had to do 2 screenshots, guys. Caleb Williams finishes the season 69.8. 40, he's ranked 41st. 41st in adjusted completion percentage. Let me break that down for you guys. That means there are 9 backup quarterbacks. At least there's 9 backup quarterbacks. There's only 32 teams, right? So actually, I guess there's 10. No, there's not. Let's just play it conservative. Let's say there's 9. 9 backup quarterbacks who have a higher adjusted completion percentage than Caleb Williams. So what does that mean? There are 9 backup quarterbacks in the National Football League in the 2025 season, 2025-2026 season, that are more accurate than Caleb Williams. And again, can he fix it? The Bears better hope so, or this is going to be the common theme every single year. Because again, that was in college, Clayton. When he gets to the pros, they'll get somebody working with him. He'll fix that. Okay, through year 1, the whole staff gets crap canned, right? Year 2, you bring in Ben Johnson. Oh, he's going to unlock Caleb. He's going to fix Caleb. It's still a problem. He's still not seeing the field completely. He's not going through his progressions. He's antsy in the pocket. One read, oh, no, I got to get out and move. Makes for flashy plays. But on a consistent down in and down out basis, this is going to be a problem unless they fix it. So, again, there are 9 backup quarterbacks that's more accurate than Caleb Williams. Thank you, Mike. I see the super chat. We're going to hit it at the end, buddy. Actually, we're at the end, so I appreciate you throwing that in there, man. So, again, that's Caleb Williams' numbers. That's how that looks. If you guys are watching this video back later, let me know what you think about Caleb Williams and how he matches up with Jordan Love specifically. I think we would all agree Jordan Love is a better quarterback than Caleb right now. Do you think Caleb can fix those problems? Do you think it's going to be a problem for the Bears moving forward? Do you kind of see what I'm saying? We're going into year 3. Is there a chance that the Bears have to make a decision next year or the year after? Now, they got the 5th-year option. They'll definitely hit him with the 5th-year option if they want him. But they got to make a decision. Do we want to give Caleb Williams $60 to $70 million per year? Think about it in 2 years, how big that number is going to be, which is it's exciting because Jordan Love against the cap next year, I think it's $32 million. And I want to say that Lamar Jackson, you guys fact check this. I heard somebody say he's like $70 million against the cap. So anyway, let us know in the comments what you think about Caleb Williams moving forward. Make sure you hit like, subscribe, click the bell icon so you're notified when we go live in the future. Let me hit the super chat from Mike, then we'll get into a little Elton Jenkins talk and get everybody on their day. Mike with the super says, Mike Z with the super says, can we talk about how humble Ben sounded and looked with McVay? What a clown, ran out of the sugar for his Kool-Aids he was drinking. I was cracking up too. And, you know, there's one or two ways that Ben Johnson could, or I'm sorry, that Sean McVay could have handled this. Part of me wanted him to lean in and scream like Ben Johnson did when he did the handshake and be all unprofessional, like, yeah, take that, put that in your pipe and smoke it. Or you can outclass them and make them look this big. That's what McVay did. McVay just kind of gave him the handshake, did it the way he was supposed to. I cannot wait till owners' meetings. I think they're in February or March. When owner meetings come and they get the big head coach picture together. Ben, it's kind of common knowledge now that the Lions were really rubbed the wrong way with the way that Ben Johnson went to a division rival. And it kind of, left the Lions to go coach for the Bears. There's a little bit of animosity there. You could tell that Ben Johnson and Dan Campbell don't have the same friendship. Maybe they'll button that up before the owners' meetings. We'll see. But one thing's for sure, Peter Schrager reported everybody in the Shanahan tree. I mean, think about this, guys. Kyle Shanahan, right? Matt LaFleur, Mike LaFleur, Robert Saleh, Mike McDaniels. I mean, it's on and on. Raheem Morris, if he gets a head coaching job again, I don't know if I doubt he will this year. But you've got this huge coaching tree. Peter Schrager said everybody in the McVay, that MFer stuff did not go over with the McVay tree. So when they get down to the owners' meetings, Ben Johnson's going to walk in there after he was that smart ass all year, right? And then everybody going to finally be in the schoolyard on the last day of school with everybody that he's basically talked crap about or disrespected, essentially. It's going to be, we'll be giving you live coverage for that. I can't wait to see that picture. Now, can he fix that? Absolutely. Ben Johnson can fix that. He can reach out to Matt LaFleur, go, hey, man, I acted like an ass this year. That's my first year doing this. I let my emotions get the best of me. Yeah, you can do that. Will he do it based off of what he's shown us? I don't think so. They said it best the other day. I think it was Scott Van Pelt said it with Stanford Steve on ESPN. He said, you're running around acting like this, disrespecting. I'm paraphrasing. You're disrespecting people, and you've never won a damn thing. And we've got a saying down here in the South, act like you've been there, right? Like, when you score a touchdown, act like you've been there. When you win a ball game, act like you've been there. Ben Johnson acts like he hasn't won a damn thing his whole life, and it shows. And that's exactly what SVP was saying. So, anyway, thanks.